Hello and welcome to Season 3 of Uneducated. I'm your host, Cammie Scott, and today I'm joined by you guys, which is going to be a running theme of Season 3. The really big thing that I want to achieve with this podcast is making it a community effort. I never wanted this podcast to be about me. That was kind of the whole reason of getting into doing a podcast, sharing other people's experiences and stories and opinions and thoughts and hopes and dreams. And I want that to include all of you wonderful listeners. And a way we are going to start incorporating everybody into this podcast is I created a group chat. And I feel like group chat doesn't really encompass all that it does, but that's what it's called. It's on this app called Geneva. It is so much fun. I started it a couple weeks ago just to play around and kind of get a feel for what it does and what I'll be using it for. And we have so much fun in there. So there's the general chat where you guys can just get to know each other, hang out, just like we share pictures of our dogs a lot in there. It's just for fun. Then there are subgroups. Some of those groups are an advice page where you can ask and give advice, current events, so you can discuss things that are going on around the world. One of the big roles for the group chat is to keep things really open-minded and respectful so that we can talk about things that we shy away from. Talk about things that we maybe disagree on so we can better understand each other and not be so divisive. But as long as there's respect, we can talk about it all. There is an episodes group chat where we can talk about previous episodes. You guys can recommend episodes or guests. We have a Recs page, which I love. It's basically just for recommendations on anything. We have skincare, food, music, books, movies, everything. Then we have a support page because sometimes we all need a little extra love and a little extra support. And I know I get a lot of DMs from people asking for advice or seeking out help with mental health, or they're just really going through a tough time. And I can't get to every single person, which can get really difficult. So by having this community of uplifting people, I'm hoping that you will never feel alone and always feel like you have somebody to turn to. And then we have the top secret room, and that's where I've been sharing secrets about this season and sending you guys even like just random stuff about me. I did a little bit mini deck reveal over there. If you guys follow me on Instagram or YouTube, you know that my girlfriend Taryn and I have been working all summer. Oh, I almost just knocked my background down. If you guys are watching on YouTube, I have a little bit of a different setup. We'll talk about that in a minute. But yeah, we've been working on our deck all summer in our backyard and kind of making it this oasis for us because we love spending time at home and outside. And it's just, it's so great. I'm so in love with it. But you guys on the group chat saw it first. Actually, you're the only ones who have seen it. I haven't released that video yet. So if you're interested in that, head over to the group chat. And then what we will be using today, we have a talk on stage and hangout rooms. And basically, this is where we can all get to know each other a little more, talk live, get a little more personal than just sending messages. So the talk room, I actually haven't used these yet, so we're all going to do this together. But the talk room is just where you can chat. I think everybody who's in the group chat can be in there and chatting at the same time. It might be chaotic. I don't know. On stage is a little bit more official. I can create a broadcast and I believe, you can talk with up to 8 other people and an audience of, I almost said 50,000, of 5,000. And then the hangout room is a video. Wow. I'm looking at it right now on my phone and I just popped up and I was like, wow, I'm looking pretty shiny in there. I don't know how that works. I don't know if more people can come in there, how many members can be there. I really don't know. I'm excited. I haven't tried any of these features yet, so I'm really excited to give it a go. I just thought it could be fun to chat with you guys today, see if anyone has topics that they think are really important, want to discuss, or if anyone needs a little bit of advice right now. Thought it was a great way that we could all do that together. So I'm going to give that just a minute because I just announced on my Instagram story that I would be going live in the group chat. So I'm going to give people some time to get in there before we jump in. And until then, let's hang out for a minute. My background going on, if you're watching on YouTube, I have some newspapers and I'm just on my couch. I'm in my office. We're not in a studio yet, unfortunately. I was really hoping to get in a studio before season 3, but life had other plans for us, so it's okay, but I am trying to elevate it a little bit better. We will be doing video for every single podcast. I know a lot of you wanted that and were requesting that. Guess what? New season. I still can't speak though. But yeah, so I just elevated it a little. Literally right before I went to record this, I was like, let's do a cool background. And I took my prop from the photo shoot for the new content for the podcast and like took it apart and taped the newspaper up on the walls. So very professional over here. We are quite makeshift, but we're making it work. We're doing the things. I actually already recorded this episode once. I'm going to be fully transparent because why not? That's what this is here for. And I have been going through I don't want to call it a down spell. That feels a little extreme. But I really have waves of feeling really confident in my work and everything I'm doing and really like ready to go and seize the day and get stuff done. I go through those phases of like, yes, go, everything's great. However, with that big up comes a big down where I feel like everything I'm doing is wrong. I question all my decisions and my direction and if I'm good enough and if I'm doing enough, and it really is crippling. It makes me feel like I can't get anything done. I'm not fully sure why I do this, to be honest. I've talked about it a lot in therapy. I'm actually having a test done next week, well, this week when you're listening, to see if I maybe have ADHD, because I've had a lot of people tell me that I might. Just because, not in a horrible way, they're not being mean, just in a, hey, I really relate to how your brain works and this is what I was going through, so maybe you are. So I'm doing that. We are taking care of our mental health, which is still scary for me, I'll be honest. As much as I tell you guys, go to therapy, take care of yourselves, be your number one supporter, I constantly struggle with that. So I am always working to take my own advice. I'm much better at giving than receiving in advice and advice. That got weird. But yeah, so I'd been feeling super motivated getting this season together and then all of a sudden felt worthless. And the episode I didn't like. I thought I was like trying too hard and forcing it, and I don't know. It just felt not good. So I decided, rather than feeling stressed and down about it, I'm just going to redo it. We are a couple days before the launch, and I knew that I wanted this to be my first episode, and I also really wanted to be like many episodes ahead, so I wasn't editing, and my I don't know what to call her. We didn't pick her label yet. Maddy, I know you're listening. Not my manager, Maddy. I'm just surrounded by Maddies. I think I told you guys this in season 2, but Maddy does all the socials for the podcast and is now editing the podcast. She's amazing. But we have really tried to get ahead, so I'm not sending her all the stuff like a day before the episode needs to come out and we're scrambling. But you know what? Sometimes that's the best thing I can do. Sometimes it's because I was procrastinating. Sometimes it's because I don't want to put out content I don't feel good about. So it's all about finding that balance, and it's definitely something I'm still working on figuring out what makes sense and what works. But here we are on a Thursday, and this will be coming out Monday. So in true Cammie fashion, it's happening very last minute. But it's worth it. But anyways, I had like a few notes of things that I wanted to talk about, and I already did talk about in the first podcast recording, which once I ramble on about something, I get over it. I don't want to talk about it. But there were a few things that I thought were worth bringing up again. And one of those things is finding balance as an influencer, and now actually since the first time I talked about this, as just a normal human on social media, sharing things that are important, doing good, helping the world, shedding light on current events and really horrible things that go on around the world. Finding a balance between sharing that and how much you should be like dedicating your online presence to that, and if you need to be talking about everything that's going on around the world. I mean, I think that that's quite impossible to share every little thing, but just like I talked to Vera Papazova in season 2, who is she's a journalist, she's amazing, she's incredible. We really talked about this weird balance of influencer, journalist, and activist, and how we have this misconception that all of those things are the same thing and that we should all be all three of those things. And it's not correct, and it's not viable, and it has caused a lot of problems. It's caused us to think that we're all journalists because we saw one Instagram story on something, and now we're going to go like share that and think we know everything about that topic and every opinion on it. It's also made us feel like there's this immense pressure that you need to be an activist and you need to be sharing every injustice that is going on in the world. And if you are also, I mean, and everyone's influencing. I don't care if you have 5 followers or 5 million followers, you are influencing someone. And there's this confusion about that, I feel like, and it leads to never feeling like things are right and never feeling like things are even and balanced, and no one's doing a good enough job. For one, I can only speak on my own experiences, but when I speak up about something going on in the world, on that topic alone, get people mad at me from the opposite side that I am sharing the information about or sharing my opinion or my belief on. And at the same time, I get messages saying, oh, okay, why are you talking about this and not this thing? And it's like, to me, it feels like if people would go to a breast cancer awareness march and go, well, there's brain cancer. And it's like, yeah, of course. And I'm not saying one is worse or more needed than the other of awareness, but this is what I'm focusing on right now. And I just feel like people want you to talk about every little thing because they want you to talk about what's important to them specifically. And there's no way to do that. There's no way that I can, 1, know about everything going on in the world, and 2, be educated enough to even share my opinions on everything going on in the world. And 3, if I do that, my account would be constantly me posting about things going on in the world. And a lot of you, even a lot of the people who are complaining that I'm not posting about a certain injustice, would stop following. And I was talking to my friend Owen, who is also on season 2 of the podcast, about this at a lunch the other day, and saying how everyone just feels burnt out and feels like they're not doing enough and doesn't really know what to do. But we also notice when we are posting content like that, it gets way less engagement and we'll lose followers. And we know that the people who are seeing it are the people who already agree with us. So it doesn't really even feel like it's having a lot of value. And I don't know what the solution is. I'm not here saying I know what to do. I just hit my microphone on my face, and I believe I now have lipstick everywhere. So if you're watching on the video, ignore it. Anyways, I don't know what the solution is. I think it's this common thing that I've talked about through almost every podcast episode, the pendulum has to swing. We have to find some balance. And I'm so glad it has swung one way and people are caring and being aware and wanting to fix this very broken world. But I think we don't know where that balance lies yet. And I would love to welcome any of you to share your thoughts on this. I know I keep talking about the group chat, but it's really going to be the best tool for us to talk, because as much as I love sharing the podcast information on Instagram and talking to you guys there, it feels like a comment. We don't all like have a beautiful discussion about it. So I'm going to plug the group chat again. I swear I'm not paid by this group chat either. I just love this app. But Geneva, hit me up if you want to. I will start a thread over there in the new episodes tab once this is out. How do you think we find this balance between journalist, influencer, activist? And how much responsibility do you think, if you are in one of those categories, do you have to be in another category? And do you want your influencers to be posting activism things and sharing articles from journalists? Or are they your escape? I know for a long time and very often, these past few years have been rough in the world, to say the least. And there have been so many moments where I'd go to post like a selfie or skincare or little things that might bring me joy, honestly. Like, I really like doing my skincare and it calms me down, and I love watching skincare videos, but I would go to post it and be like, why the fuck does this matter? Why would anyone want to see this when all of these horrible things are going on? Where is the space for this? And then I would get a lot of messages and comments being like, I love when you post these things. It really brings me joy, or it really makes me happy when I see you and Taryn just being lovey, because it's like a little glimmer of hope in a really dark world. And I get that and I hear that and I agree to an extent, but then I will never not have that idea in the back of my head of like, why am I sharing this? What is this doing? So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that big ramble did, honestly. I wish I had answers. I wish I said, guys, I figured it out. This is what we're going to do. Here's our balance. But I don't have it. And I guess to me, it's an individual thing, I think. And to me, this podcast is the way I feel like I can talk about things that matter to me and have these open conversations without making it all I'm ever sharing. So if you guys don't want to listen, you don't have to listen. If you don't want to see my skincare posts, you don't have to look. But yeah, just a little food for thought. One of my favorite podcasts, you guys are always asking what my favorite podcasts are. And it's funny because I don't listen to a lot of podcasts that are similar to mine, just people chatting. I listen to like the Daily and Snacks Daily. Like I don't know. I listen to like business and investment and news podcasts. But one podcast, well, I guess two podcasts now that I absolutely love are Armchair Expert with Dak Shepard and Monica Padman. And then Kristen Bell and Monica have another podcast that they do. I don't know. I'm kind of confused by it all, but I don't care because I just love all of them. Sorry, there is literally a fly in this room. That is so annoying. But I just listened to an episode the other day of Armchair Expert with Brie Larson. And I had this weird journey of listening to this. So I don't know, a couple years ago, I saw a YouTube video explaining why Brie Larson is not likable. And I am going to embarrassingly admit that I watched it and was like, oh, okay, I get that. Do I do any of those things? How can I not do those things? It was literally comparing why the way Brie Larson is in interviews is less likable than Chris Hemsworth. Is that who's in the movies with her? I'm so bad at names. This is such a joke. Anyways, and I like ate it up and was like, that makes sense. Okay. Do that. Do more of that. Do less of this. And then recently I saw videos explaining why people like didn't like Brie Larson and how it was all like internalized misogyny and it's so messed up. And she was like, would do the same thing as her male counterparts and get shit on for it. And I had this like, oh my God moment where I was like, I did that. I 100% judged her and thought of her as this like conceited, like can't take a joke, whatever, all these horrible things that the first video said about her. And I listened to her on Armchair Expert and adored her. I felt like she was so real. And I was thinking, how would I have previously perceived this through my internalized misogyny, and how am I perceiving it now? And it was just like a real full circle moment. It was so interesting. But she said so many amazing things. I was driving in the car with Tara and I was like taking a bunch of notes on it. And one of the things she said about acknowledging your privilege, I thought just really struck a chord with me. I feel like oftentimes when people don't want to accept their privilege, they feel like people are saying that they didn't earn what they have. And she was just saying how like she went through this realization of acknowledging your personal privilege doesn't mean you're saying you didn't work hard to get the things that you have. It's just recognizing that you didn't have certain hoops or hurdles to jump through, or at least judging by my notes app, that's what I got from what she was saying. And I don't know, I think that's so simple, and I think we, for the most part, really get that. But I see so many people getting so pissed off when their personal privilege is highlighted. And it just baffles me why people get so upset. I have so many privileges that helped get me to where I am today, to help get me to your phone right now and you're listening to me, that I may have not been able to get to if I didn't have those privileges, or if I had extra hurdles thrown in front of me. I don't know if I could have overcome those. I don't know if without the little boosters here and there, I would have gotten to where I am. And I think people get so confused that they either think if you acknowledge someone's privilege, you're saying that they didn't work hard, or if you are acknowledging a lack of privilege in a certain area, you're saying that someone like had to work harder, or if they didn't get to where they should be and they don't have this privilege, then if they would have just worked harder, they could have gotten there. Did that make sense? Gosh, I don't know if that wording made any sense, but I just see that happen a lot with people, and the lack of awareness around what your privileges are, and that it doesn't for a second mean you didn't work as hard as you possibly could. It's just like, yeah, you got there. You worked your ass off. That was one part. You had this privilege. That was another part. I just saw a YouTube video popped up on Nicole Richie's like new $17 million home, which is so insane. But the video started, and I like the way they worded it. They were like, have you ever wondered what it would feel like to be a pop star's daughter? Well, Nicole Richie used her, what did they say? No, they said it nicer. I'm butchering this so bad. Anyways, they said something about like she used that fame to catapult her career as well. And it was like, I don't know, the way it was worded sounded nice, where it was like acknowledging her privilege, but while also being like, some people have famous parents and they don't do anything with it, but she did this thing. I don't know. Gosh, that made no sense. Let's go to the group chat and let's go to the talk room. I don't know if it's going to even alert anyone that I'm in the talk room, so this might just be me. Let's go. Let's see.
Hello.
Oh my God, this is so cool. Hello.
Whoa, this is so strange. I got the notification. I was like, what the heck?
We are
so
actually
cool
live on the podcast right now.
Whoa. Are you excited?
I am so excited. This is actually going to be episode 1. I am re-recording the episode because I didn't like it. So we're all here.
That's amazing. Well, I'm from Brazil, so my English is not that good. So I'm just here to listen to you guys, but I'm just excited about it. I 100% believe that season 3 is going to be amazing. And I love to be part of this group. So yeah, you rock.
Victoria, you're so sweet. Also, your English is perfect. It's like
Okay.
you speak I don't know how many languages and I barely speak English, so don't ever apologize for that or feel like it's not good enough. You're amazing.
I'm trying, but thank you.
Yeah, Victoria, if you need help translating, I can help you translate, but your English is really good, so I doubt you even...
Oh, thank you guys. It's so sweet.
I love this group, bringing everyone together.
It's cool how everybody's from different places. I noticed in the chat, like, nobody is from the same place. It's so neat.
I found the COVID discussion so interesting to see how people see the COVID measures and stuff in different countries.
Yeah, totally. It's so weird to see everyone experiencing it so differently, whether cases are higher or lower in different areas or governments are handling it differently. Yeah, I found that so interesting as well.
This is such an interesting experience, like, you know, watching things on YouTube or connecting with people on like Instagram is so interesting because I've never been the type of person that like actually comments on anything or like whatever, but it's so neat to actually be a part of a community on here for like the first time after watching like all this stuff online forever. So it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I feel like the internet can feel so anonymous sometimes, which causes so many issues. And this just makes it feel way more personal. Like, I know what area you guys live. I know different opinions you have on issues. I know what you're going through. It makes it all feel a lot more real and connected. And I think kind of helps with the divisiveness going on in the world.
Absolutely. A smaller container is always great because people feel more comfortable to actually talk and connect versus just like, you know, talk at each other and disagree or whatever.
And we can do like a discuss party after every episode to talk about it, you know, like change experiences and everything.
Ooh.
Yeah, I love that. I believe you guys can start this room on your own. I don't think I have to be the admin to do that. If not, I'll change it so that you can. So if you guys ever want to pop in here and just have little chats, you're more than welcome to do it. It doesn't have to be some big official thing. Before I head off to finish this episode of the podcast, I just want to ask you guys if there's anything specific, any topics that you want to see this season that, wow, you have my attention, or if there's any guests that you guys really, really want that I could maybe reasonably get.
I have one like kind of topic, I guess. I know you've talked about like queer or like femme dating before, obviously, but I don't know. I'm like getting back into the queer dating world after a while. And I'm nervous. And so like any tips on it, it's like, I don't know, just like general tips I would love.
Oh, I love that.
I'm popping in here. It's Maddie. Hi. I work with
Maddie.
Cammie as well, just fair.
I was just
Backstory.
talking about you on the episode.
Oh, really? Fun.
Yeah.
I think that's really smart too, because I'm also femme and queer. So I think like just I'm going back into the dating scene as well. And it's super like, at least in like the queer bar scene, sometimes because I don't look gay, like people won't even like approach me because they assume like I'm a straight girl at a queer bar, which makes no sense.
Totally.
But
It makes no sense, but it's such a sad thing that it's so common that a lot of straight girls hang out in queer spaces.
yeah, like it happened to me during Pride Month like multiple times. So
Oh no.
yeah. Yeah.
It's like literally Pride Month and people can't even get their brain around it. That's so funny.
Yeah, right.
We can definitely do an episode on dating. I feel like that issue, I don't know why it exists. It's like everyone knows queer femmes exist, but whenever you're like out in the wild, all of a sudden they're like, you must be straight. We need like, I don't know, a secret handshake, a mating call.
Yes, please. Let's start it here.
Yeah, let's establish one in here.
I
I feel like
actually,
I have to be covered in rainbows every time I go out so people would know.
yeah, I thought about making a dating page on this group chat. The only thing I worry about is safety. If anyone would come in here that was like trying to do something awful, and then while people are in here feeling safe and vulnerable. So I don't know, if we did something like that, we would need some kind of like checks and balances. You have to video chat on here first where we can all witness and make sure everyone's safe.
That'd be so funny to like video chat all together as two people are trying to get to know each other.
We make our own dating show.
Yeah,
That would
Cammie's
be fun.
perfect for that though. She's like, I always call her like my lesbian godmother, so I feel like she'd be perfect.
Wait, I love that.
I'm like old, out of the dating scene, so I love giving dating advice. I don't know if it's any good, but I definitely love giving it.
It's good. It's good.
Okay, that was so much fun. I love chatting to you guys. That was just like one big phone call with all the besties. Like, I love that stuff. So we will definitely be doing more of that in the future throughout the season. Like we said during the call, jumping in after the episodes come out and talking about that specific topic and our opinions on it and the guest. Yeah, I am going to be living in that group chat. So come hang out with me. The link will be in the show notes, and it's also on my personal socials and the Uneducated social. So head over to the Uneducated Instagram so you can get all the extra content from each episode and stay in the know. I love you guys so much. This was so much fun, and I am pumped for season 3. So let's do this. Bye, guys.